Hi, I'm Stacy, and this is Practical ESL. Today, I want to share just a little tool with you, and maybe you already know this, and maybe you don't. So just in case, here it is. All right, I'm going to tell you a story and take you to my screen. So I went to visit an English 1 classroom, and they had a lot of sheltered students. And so within their students, their levels were very different, but the teachers wanted to teach of mice and men. So as you can imagine, the text is really difficult. It's in a very difficult form of English. It's long. Like, you guys, the chapters are so long. So here's what I did. I broke up the text, I copied and pasted the text from the document into Google Slides. So I just put it in there. And you cannot put it in as a picture, so it can't be like a JPEG. You can't take a screenshot. You have to actually copy the text. All right. But when you do that, you can go to your Google, you can go to Pear Deck and Nearpod. Because it's small right now, it's not going to do it. But if you just click on Nearpod, then it will go straight there. And you can just open it as a Nearpod document. You can make it a Nearpod file. So what you want to do is that in your Nearpod account, if you go to Nearpod and you go to lesson settings, and then from that you go to this one, enable Immersive Reader. So Immersive Reader is a Microsoft product. And if you have Microsoft at your district, it's great. You can use it with everything that you do, and it will be on every Word document. It will be available to your students all the time. If you are like our district and you have Google, then you cannot, because, right, they're not compatible. But Immersive Reader will work with Nearpod and it will work with Pear Deck. But a lot of people don't know because you have to enable it on your settings. So go and enable it. Then when you open up your Nearpod slides, then it looks like this. So when your students see the screen, there's this thing over here, the book with a volume control. And so you click on that and it's going to open in their document like this. So the text is going to look different, but there are some great things. So as we go along, this is the story. And so you have options. I'm just going to start from the bottom and show you all of the options. So you can play it.
Of Mice and Men. Chapter 3. 175. Although there was evening brightness showing through the windows of the bunkhouse, inside it was dusk.
One thing that you notice about when it reads it is that it points to the word and highlights the word that it's reading. If you have low readers, like we have low readers, a lot of them, and if you have low readers, this is going to help them to be able to recognize the word that they hear. And this is a huge support for our students. Some of them not even English language learners, some of them gen ed that just have struggled with reading. And this is a way to help them. So then it highlights the words. You can come over here to this voice settings and you can do slower. You can do faster. I usually don't recommend under 0.75 because it's almost painful to listen to. But for some of your kids who need it read to them faster, you can do faster as well. You can choose the voice of a female or the voice of a male, whatever they prefer. All right, so the next thing you can do is go to this text preferences. So you can change the text size. You can increase the spacing, or you can take it back to more like a regular document. You can change the font. I prefer Comic Sans, right? You can change the overlay if you would like to. And there's a lot of different colors you could choose from. We're going to go back to white for now. If you come up here to this magic wand, this is one of my favorite parts, you guys. Okay, number one, I always want my students, it's really difficult for ESL students to know what's the noun, what's my subject, those kind of things. So I could have them highlight all of the nouns so that they know what the subject, what the sentence is about, okay? Sometimes they don't know the verb and I'm asking them for what happened. So I think personally for me, I would often just use the noun and the verb so that they would be able to understand have a better chance of understanding what is happening inside this text. Okay. But you could also do the adjectives and you can also do the adverbs. You can show the labels so they know noun, noun, adverb, verb, noun. You can also divide it by syllables so they know how to read it. Windows of the bunk house. Inside, it was dusk. Okay. These can all be super helpful for our English language learners. All right. That was the text preferences and then the grammar options. And now let's look at the book over here. And this is our reading preferences. So what you want to do, one thing is that you have a picture dictionary. So for some words, not all of them, it will give you a picture of that word. So you come over here and here is dusk. You come to door and here's door. You come to clangs and there's not one. Okay, but it will read it for you.
Clangs.
Okay. All right, so we come back to the book. You can also translate it. So let's say that your students all speak Spanish. What I want you to do is make sure to tell your students to change it to document. So if there's no document, then there's nothing up here. But if I click on document, then I can go back and forth between the Spanish and the English. So I'm just going to tell you, I'm not a fan of translation. I'm not a fan of everybody putting everything into Google Translate. I learned Chinese in 7 months and I did not have Google Translate. I really believe that our students will learn faster if they are given tools to be successful with that English. Okay. However, I also am a firm believer that we have to teach our kids content, and we don't want them to miss out on Of Mice and Men. We don't want them to miss out on anything. I know that this is not a perfect translation because this is still a computerized generated translation, but this is something, and they can go back and forth and they can see that this section right here is the same as this in Spanish. And what this can do is that when they read it in Spanish, then they can go back to see what it is in English, and then they can answer your questions, but also be held accountable to tell you that English. And I think that's the huge thing about Immersive Reader is how much it can help you with that. One more thing that I want to show you is that if you use that picture dictionary when it's on the translation, it will give you the word in English, the word in Spanish. It will say both of them to you, and it will give you a picture. All right. So this is Immersive Reader with Nearpod. You can do the same thing with Pear Deck, and I'll show you in a different video. And I just hope that this is helpful for you in some way. And if you know of other teachers who need this, please share it with them. And I hope that your district provides, well, I know that we can get accounts with Pear Deck. I hope that your district also provides Nearpod. So thank you so much for watching today. I am glad to spend this time with you, and I just hope in some way this is helpful. Thanks. Bye.